Patriot fam, we're twins today.
We did not plan this.
Didn't plan this. But it just shows that we're locked in, right?
We're locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. I like it. Thank you guys for joining Open Mic today. I'm Allie Leger, and
I'm Michelle Posey. We're so grateful that you're joining us from whatever streaming platform you're joining us from. And also, thank you to our Spotify listeners today. Wow, we've got some fun stuff to talk about here this Friday. Although, Allie, does this Friday seem a little bit, it seems a little bit more energized. I don't know if it was the electricity outside.
It's gotta be.
Nearly struck by lightning. Nearly. It's electric.
So scary.
It is, guys. We've got so much to talk about. Plus, there are some things that are breaking. Apparently, we know Trump said he's going to do a noon presser on something that he wants to talk about. But then you just said,
yeah, all the press got like loaded into a van and they're off to an undisclosed location. Nobody knows what's going on, and this was not on his schedule. So we are, we're just
we're on
keeping our eyes peeled.
Needles, literally.
And keep it here because we might break it live as we're on air. So, all right, let's open that mic and get started.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of Maggieville, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's what you gotta lose. Red hat stays on.
A little weird in the studio today.
When you get your tech guy to laugh at you and look at you like
he's still laughing,
chuckling right now. It's so funny. And then
Krista's laughing in the back. She was like, "Are you girls ready?"
And our social media assistant, she's just like, "What is wrong with y'all today?"
Don't pull at that thread. Don't pull at that thread.
Let's see what comes out.
We are so glad that you guys joined us. Listen, Open Mic is a little bit different if you can't tell. I mean, obviously, we talk about all the current events. We've got a very America First MAGA spin on it because that's how we view things. Because you know what? We've been right, not so far right. Right so far.
We have been right so far.
We've been right
okay,
so far.
I do want to throw this out there. So CNN hosts right now are currently breaking down the FBI raid on John Bolton. And they look like their whole day has been ruined. Seriously. So Kash Patel, who is the FBI, head of FBI, posted, no one is above the law.
Hear that, Hillary?
And then he said something about like people on a mission, FBI on a mission, right? But then Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, retweeted Kash Patel's post.
Okay.
Something's going down, y'all.
So if you know anything about media,
FBI agents on a mission is what he said. So like, you know how we do like moms on a mission? Okay, Kash, thank you for watching Open Mic. We appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in to Moms for America, because that's literally what we say all the time is moms on a mission. But thank you. So
well, awesome. And this is exciting because, you know, part of what we're doing live here that a lot of mainstream media cannot do is monitor what's happening firsthand through X. I know a lot of our viewers reach out and they say, we're not on social media. We really don't do the social media thing. That's okay. That's what we're here for. Of course, we always try to bring you up to date on current events, but we also want to make sure that you have call to actions to know what to do, how you can be, as Allie says, the sharpest tip of the spear in your circle of influence. It's absolutely why you should want to be engaged in current events. So let's start off, though,
if you're not paying attention to politics, politics is just railroading you.
Politics is going to do you.
That is not fun.
It's not fun. It wasn't fun through
You have
COVID.
to be an equal participant.
Absolutely. Allie, let's start with this. You know, whoever's doing the White House.
Proper consent.
The White and show gone.
Okay, bring us back on the rails. I'm sorry.
I try so much to be the adult in the room sometimes, but it's not easy because I want to.
It's Friday, babe. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? Okay.
Oh.
Are we tired of winning, you guys? This is why we are not tired of winning.
And whoever is pushing all of this media from the White House, keep doing it.
They're totally millennials.
It's awesome. Take a look at what was posted on the White House social media.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Okay.
How does this not make you excited? Like, this
But
is
listen-
America 250. And I can't wait to hear Bruce Buffer say it.
But listen, this dropped yesterday, and on the heels of what we're hearing now with the raid at John Bolton's, you know, Trump first said he's going to do a noon presser. Now he's moving the press corps somewhere.
Wow.
It's like, start your
Retribution.
engines. Like,
It's coming.
and when things, listen, in the media, you know, when things drop on a Friday, it's because they want it to percolate all weekend long. This is done deliberately
Yes.
and then usually Monday comes out with another big bang. So
Yes. Because you remember the last debacle that happened? It was like on a Saturday or a Sunday where the president was out of the country. Like there was, and it was like just everybody was questioning what was going on. This is serious. It's happening
serious.
today.
So I thought this was going to be breaking news. We were going to share it. We've got so much more. Take a look at this. This was posted all over social media last night. Breaking: Donald Trump will be making a televised announcement from the Oval Office Friday today at noon Eastern.
Is that still happening?
I don't know. I don't
don't
know.
know.
He's been moved. So
I don't know.
oh my gosh, are we flying by the seat of our pants?
We are.
Oh,
That's
kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
That's a little.
I feel like it feels a little bit like a hurricane party where you're like tuning in because you don't know which way it's going to go, and you're eating all your hurricane snacks.
Don't eat all the hurricane snacks. You're gonna need them.
You're gonna need them, yeah. Definitely. Oh my gosh. Okay, Allie, can we make it funny real quick though?
Yes.
I saw this yesterday and I thought it was funny.
My gosh.
We talked about the Cracker Barrel logo being changed.
He joins the Cracker Barrel joins like the Land O'Lakes Indian, joins the Indian of the Indians football team, joins I mean all of
Aunt
the
Jemima
things. Aunt
from
Jemima, right.
Were you offended by syrup?
What made you so offended by a black woman on a syrup bottle? You racist liberal.
Thank you. But take a look at what social media does so well. I love this. And this is the new Cracker Barrel, I think.
I think this should be stickers and everybody should go to Cracker Barrel and just plaster the stickers all over like the parking lot.
Oh my God. They're gonna
just walk in to Cracker Barrel and leave them on like on the register. Like, here,
wait,
we have the logo for you.
Like the gas station,
right?
That said I did that with Biden.
Yes,
oh
exactly. For our Spotify audience that cannot see this, it's literally it's the Cracker Barrel logo, but instead of the old man sitting on the rocking chair with his arm on the barrel, it is literally a picture of President Trump in his suit and tie. Sitting on the chair with his arm on the barrel. It's just,
I think
awesome.
that's even better. That's a step up.
Yes, that's a step up.
That's a step up. You know, we didn't show the graphic yesterday. I don't have it here today, but it's all over news today that Cracker Barrel's stocks are plummeting.
Oh, wow. Like by a lot. I think yesterday it was 15%. I haven't checked it today though, but that's a lot in a day. 15% in a day?
On a Thursday? Like
wow.
that's unbelievable because usually there's not a lot of ups and downs in the middle of the week on the stocks. So that's crazy. Allie, you and I are, of course, here in the free state of Florida. We have, of course, we always have stuff we can work on, but we have a lot of stuff to celebrate.
Yes.
Remember yesterday we brought you the story of the driver that was licensed and got a CDL certificate in California, illegal, then comes to Florida, makes an illegal U-turn, takes out 3 people in a terrifying car crash, then goes back to California, you know, because Governor Newsom is just, everybody knows that's the place you go to harbor people. But Florida doesn't stop there, Allie. We have a new lieutenant governor, Governor Jay Collins, a good friend.
Yes, good friend of ours.
But he
went campaigned for that man. I knocked so many doors for him. It was insane.
Wounded veteran, but just a fighter at heart, a firebrand at heart. He goes to California. Jay Collins, Lieutenant Governor of Florida, goes to California to escort the semi-truck driver who's accused of killing these 3 people on the turnpike, to escort him back to Florida. Oh, take a look at this.
This is about leadership. You have failed policies that got us here. Gavin Newsom, the state of California has failed to take illegal immigration seriously. In Florida, we take it serious. We care about our citizens' lives, and I'm tired of other governors, of other people failing to step up and take accountability and take illegal immigration seriously. We're here today to make sure that this guy goes back to Florida, faces justice, and those 3 innocent lives lost get the justice they deserve. 3 lives lost because of Gavin Newsom, because of California's failed policies. We're done with that.
Ooh, he said
we're done with that shit.
Yes! This is why I love when our veterans get involved in policy, because there are no holds barred. They gloves off. Like, they're here for it. And I love this. Okay, so Justin, President Trump did a surprise movement, we know, from the White House, wasn't on the schedule. He's wearing a 45-47 hat, and he's being seen with Susie Wiles, his chief of staff, going into the White House gift shop called the People's House. So, I wonder what's coming out. It's the People's House. They're in DC. The gift shop.
The People's House.
The People's House. It's called it's the White House gift shop. It's called the People's House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need a little education there. Sorry.
Yep. So that's where they're headed.
If they came out with a 2028 hat,
oh my gosh,
gonna die. Yeah.
Oh no.
There's another Cracker Barrel logo. I know.
We're gonna have to play this later.
This is crazy. But Allie,
okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. With regard to Jay Collins, Lieutenant Governor of Florida, and his strong stance, just like total firebrand. But it has also prompted others within the administration, because the Trump administration, to really kind of take notice, because what Secretary of State Marco Rubio did yesterday, he put this statement out. Take a look at this. He says, absolutely effective immediately. We, the United States, are pausing all issuance of work visas for commercial truck drivers. So you cannot get a work visa any longer to come here and drive a truck. First of all, I mean, I'm shocked kind of that that's happening, but whatever, they had a process to come here legally. But because the issue was with this guy, he couldn't pass the English portion of the exam.
Or the signs. He
only knew one of the 4 signs.
Right, recognize the signs. And why is it that it's only 4 signs? I'm really confused at this, because when you, as a new driver, right, even when you're
you had a son that just went through
this. My son literally just went through this. And you have to go through this test. You have to take a course, first of all. Then you have to take the test.
You have to watch the video about driving under the influence.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of the signs. It's all of the signs. It's not 4 signs. It's all the signs. And then as a CDL driver, there's a more extensive test that you need to go through.
Apparently.
And driver's course that you're apparently supposed to go through. Ask me how I know. I have a lot of 88 mics in my friend group. That's like truck drivers. I also know a lot of people that have actually driven semis across the nation. So the CDLs are very different class of driver's license that you need to go through an extensive kind of driver's test.
Yes.
Why are there only 4 signs that you need to recognize? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense. Allie, this is something that we sat in our chairs.
Wait, hang on. And also, why are we not using our weigh stations to figure out if these people actually know what they're doing when they're doing it while they're driving? This doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and somebody has come up with that here in Florida too, that should be implemented, hopefully
Why can't that be an immigration checkpoint?
You should be opening up the backs of the trucks.
Like, if you know that illegal immigration is a problem, why are you not utilizing all of the resources that you have available to you to checkpoint if the people that are actually on the road are illegal or not? That is what...
Especially since every state became a border state under Biden, because they flew them and bused them to different parts of the country. So it's not just Texas. It's not just their problem. Although, did you see that they're painting the border wall black under the direction of Trump? Because that metal will get so hot, nobody will want to climb it.
It'll be too hot.
Kristi Noem was down at the border. She was like, I'm just doing what I was told. It's got to be painted
black,
jet black. So it's hot.
Because it absorbs the heat. And that heat in Texas is something else. That's like the 7th realm of hell right there.
I know somewhere Doc Chambers and Bianca are dying laughing. We want to make sure that you guys catch this breaking news. We sat down in our chairs and literally it was like, oh my gosh. The FBI is obviously raiding John Bolton's home.
Give us a little rundown on John Bolton.
So John Bolton, he's no stranger to the Republican Party. He had worked as national security advisor under Bush. So when Trump came in his first administration, it was not unlikely that he would tap on the shoulder people that had done their job before. He was looking really to try to get somebody who had experience in They did not see eye to eye on some things. John Bolton was escorted out of the Trump administration, went on to do a lot of things on social media and on legacy media, really throwing Donald Trump under the bus. One thing that happens when you step away from your boss on any level, sometimes you try to not jump out and throw them under the bus right away. I mean, maybe you write a book 4 years later, but John Bolton has really not been a friend to the Trump administration. So a lot of people are wondering, and of course speculating at this early hour, because we really don't know, what are they doing at John Bolton's home?
This is essentially what's happening. So the FBI official statement is widely known that Bolton mishandled and took classified information for use in his 2020 book after he failed to get approval from the National Security Council for the publication of what they determined to be a highly classified information. So the raid on Bolton's residence comes after years of investigation into this potentially criminal disclosure, which started in 2020. So, I guess the Trump administration is the Trump administration is obviously committed to restoring integrity and justice, right? So you can't disclose classified information to the public.
Yeah, Adam Schiff.
Right.
But this is John Bolton. This is a Republican. It's on both sides. So
yes,
how do you think the American people are feeling?
I think the American people, the swamp rats, I think this is what they're looking like. They see the raid on John Bolton's house right now. I think the proverbial pearls are being clutched, and Shifty Shift might be shifting in his pants.
That is genius. Thank you, Krista, for getting this stuff up there so quick. Man, she's like amazing. She's amazing. Guys, she's
the real MVP of Open Mic. Thanks.
That's right.
Thanks, girl.
That's right. We're going to keep an eye on these developments as we go through the show, but we do have a wonderful guest that's going to join us after our commercial break. He has a heartwarming story about January 6th.
Yes.
And, the mainstream media can paint this however they want. The left can paint this however they want. You can actually believe whatever you want. But I think it's important that you hear firsthand accounts and firsthand stories from people who are there and try to measure up the treatment that they've been given versus the treatment that you see, I don't know, these people that burn down cities in Black Lives Matter and then were bailed out of jail by the left, or people who, buy and sell children and human traffic and how they're being really
participating in perpetuating slavery.
You have to understand, you have to take this this into consideration when you think about how our J6ers were treated, and to know the facts that we know now coming out. So you're not going to want to miss this, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Open Mic after a short message.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.
All right, welcome back to Open Mic, guys, with Allie and Michelle. Listen, I have just a little update here. We are experiencing a little bit of difficulty on our streams that we're on, whatever streaming service you might be listening and watching us on. So the audio is good, guys. You'll be able to hear us. So just make sure you keep it tuned here. And if you want to catch the sort of replay of this, just know that on all streaming platforms, we're going to upload the recorded version. So you'll be able to have good audio and good video. But we are being heard. We're being told on multiple platforms we are frozen. We're not going to jump to conclusions, but as women, sometimes we do. And so I
am not taking that. I don't.
You jump to conclusions sometimes, Allie.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're gonna contact.
I have
open
receipts,
mic
which
ladies.
is why I've been called out of pocket. So,
Oh, she went there. Okay. Welcome back to Open Mic. We've got
Hi.
a wonderful guest coming your way. His name is David Moerschel. A little bit about David, guys. He's a seminary-trained Christian minister, crisis chaplain, medical specialist. He has spent his life helping others, both body and soul. He decided to go to Washington, D.C. around the time of January 6th. We're going to let him tell you his story. Please welcome to Open Mic, David Moerschel. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for tolerating sometimes some of we just are off the wall open mic. I wanted to ask you, because I've talked to you a bit in passing, but I don't know that I've gotten the full testimony and story from you. So I wanted to ask you real quick, when you went to Washington, D.C., were you at the Capitol? Was it deliberately to be there on J6? What was the story leading up to that?
So yeah, thanks for asking. So basically, I joined the Oath Keepers like 19 days before January 6th. So I didn't know these people. Not that they did anything bad or that they're bad people, but I didn't know them. I didn't know their names. I didn't know what they looked like. But they found out that I was a medical specialist, that I work in the operating room. And so they were excited about it. And the Oath Keepers were tasked with providing security for like Ollie Alexander and some of the like Roger Stone, for example, some of the sort of Republican VIPs, if you will, because they do this.
And a lot of them were prior military as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So they already had an emergency room physician that was going to be on the ground, but they wanted some more medical help. Now that was prescient, right? Because this turned out to be a huge Fedsurrection, as we like to call it.
Yes.
And four people were killed. Let's just get that straight. Ashley Babbitt, and then another woman was beaten to death by the police, and then 2 men died of heart attacks when grenades, the sort of flashbangs exploded right in front of them. Now, you're not supposed to throw flashbangs into a crowd. So where they got that idea from, I don't know. But 4 people died that day, and a lot of people were injured. So I was there to sort of help with the medical response. Now, we were at the Ellipse when Trump was doing his speech there, and we left a little bit early, and we were walking over to the Capitol because the Oath Keepers were doing security at 2 events that were permitted. That's key.
Right.
There were
Right.
2 different permitted events on or around the Capitol grounds. So we're walking from the Ellipse to the Capitol. Now, as we're walking, we start hearing this booming sound, like, what in the world? It was explosions. And so we're looking at each other, what in the world is going on? And this is not normal. Well, that was the flashbangs that they were lobbing into the crowd, right? Which, as I said a moment ago, killed 2 men. And then they were also shooting rubber bullets into the crowd, and otherwise just demonstration, like a protest kind of crowd, right? They're shooting rubber bullets. There was a picture of a guy that the rubber bullet went through his cheek. It was really rather gruesome, but there's some pretty gruesome things. Men, women, and children in this crowd, they're shooting this stuff. Anyway, so we were not there at the time. We were still about 2 miles away when this started happening. And then we hear from from the Oath Keeper medic. He's like, I'm treating all these people. I'm having to send them to the hospital. I need backup. I need help. Now, you've met me. I'm a slight guy. I'm more of a runner than a fighter. I'm not military. I'm not. No, literally, I am a runner. I don't mean I run away from stuff, but Anyway, so I'm not military. I'm not law enforcement or anything like that. I belong where there's injured or hurting people, right? As a chaplain, helping them spiritually, and as a medical specialist, helping them physically with whatever they need. So we hear all these booming sounds, right? And then we hear that someone's been shot. And the Capitol's been broken into. So, and of course, we know Ashley Babbitt was shot. And if you go to davidisinnocent.com and click on the case and scroll down, there's a way that you can watch my 11 minutes in the Capitol. And towards the end, you'll see Ashley Babbitt's blood on the ground in the CCTV camera. So I'm not trying to make a spectacle of it, but I was right there. I mean, I was there because her blood was near the exit. Anyway, so, you know, Ashley Babbitt is shot. We hear all that, and they're overrun. This looks like to me like a mass casualty event. And so, you know, I'm not the security guy. I'm there for medical, and it's like, okay, boom, I'm on. So now it's my turn. So we're going there, and the new goal was to support the medics. So we go there and we go around the, you know, we kind of come around the corner and go up I believe it's the east side of the Capitol where the stairs are. Now, a bunch of stuff happened on the other side. I don't know. I wasn't there where the scaffolding is. I'm not going to get into that. But where we were, when I walked up there, guess what I saw? Now, I've never been to a riot. Have you guys ever been to a riot before?
No.
Don't raise your hand. Okay. All right.
Definitely not.
All right. So I've never been to a riot. I don't know what a riot looks like, but you help me. I go there and I come around there and I look at the stairs, and there's a bunch of people on the stairs, right? And you know what they're doing? They're singing the national anthem. Now, like I said, I've never been to a riot before, but you tell me, is that riotous?
No,
of course, this is not riotous behavior. They're staying, and you know, like I'm not real comfortable. You know, I like my operating room. I'm a scientist. You know, I actually was a neuroscience researcher, so I like that. I don't really like crowds, but even still, when I come up there and see the people standing there singing the national anthem, there's no alarm bells going off here. And then there's talk like, okay, well, we need to go up the stairs because our Oathkeeper medic is standing outside the doorway, and that's where he's treating people. So we go up the stairs in the infamous stack formation, and the media just loved this because we had our hands on the back, you know, as we were going up the stairs, and they just loved it because they were like, this is a practiced military formation. You know, they moved with, you know, this skilled whatever military formation. And it's like, no, this is just like 4-year-olds going out to the playground. We just had to hold on to each other because the crowds were so dense. So we get to the top of the stairs, and there's a big mob of people, and I can't see what's going on. You've met me. I'm not super tall. I can't see over the heads. And all of a sudden, the doors open. And this is important. This is an important detail. They open from the inside out, because every government building, the doors open from the inside out. And the prosecutors, in their, you know, sort of exaggerated fashion, said David formed a battering ram with the other oath keepers to break the door down. Well,
you can't. They're magnetically locked.
Thank you. And they open from the inside out. You can't get the door open that way. It's just so stupid. But this is the kind of stuff we had to put up with there. So the doors open from the inside out, and then this cry goes up. Push. So people from the back were yelling, push. You can hear it. If you go to davidisinnocent.com, go to that, you know, find that video in the drop-down menu, and you can hear people yelling, push, push. And then it's pandemonium. I mean, you are getting pushed in. You can watch Kelly Meggs, who was the leader of the Florida Oath Keepers. He got 17 years in prison over it. You can watch him, and he's a big guy. He's like 6'5", 250 pounds, 260 pounds, big guy getting lifted up off his feet as he comes through the door. You can watch Joseph Hackett, who's he still is mild-mannered, was a chiropractor. He was a chiropractor in Sarasota, Florida, lost his license when they sent him to the gulag and you can see him on the video.
So essentially all of your medical personnel are in this little corridor, and a lot of you are in the front as people from the way back are trying to push you through these open doors. Is that what we're hearing?
That's right. Yeah, okay. That's exactly right. And the video shows it. So we get pushed in. I'm in there for 11 minutes. Now, again, davidisinnocent.com. You can see the video. It looks like a busy day in a museum. There's just people walking around. They're waving flags. That's a little weird for a museum, but they're not doing anything. There's no police. There's no tear gas. There's no fights, no riotous behavior. In fact, people are picking up the little stanchions, you know, they had fallen down that whole velvet ropes. They were picking them up. And then also on the video, you can see there's a group of people that are in a huddle, and they kneel down in a circle in the middle of the Great Rotunda. And you know what they're doing?
Right.
They're not hatching some plan to take over and barricade themselves in Nancy Pelosi's office. No, they're praying. They're praying in Jesus's name. And there are oath keepers in that group. In fact, Jessica Watkins and Kelly Meggs were in that group of people that were praying. How do we know? Because they had a video camera. They had their phone camera pointed up, and you can watch this video of them praying. So then, and then there's this whole story, and we don't have time to get into it, but we go into the small house rotunda. Kelly Meggs, Kenneth Harrelson, Connie Meggs, Kelly Meggs' wife, they're protecting Officer Harry Dunn, who changed his testimony 3 times. He had an interview with the FBI and 3 interviews with the FBI, and each time he changed his story. The first time he told it was actually correct, was actually what we observed. Was Stephen Horn was an investigative journalist that was in the small house rotunda. His testimony corroborates, my testimony corroborates Harry Dunn's first testimony, but then he changes his testimony to say that, well, the oath keepers were preventing me from doing my job, and then they were calling me the N-word and all this, which was completely untrue, right? So he changed, and then he gets a book deal in there somewhere in the middle of changes testimony.
So you guys were up there. Essentially, you guys were there to help assist in medical situations. When you noticed that there wasn't any need for medical assistance, what was your thought process, and then what did you do after that?
Well, so as I said, I was in there for 11 minutes, and Joseph Hackett, who was the chiropractor, he comes up to me. We're in the small house rotunda, and I'm just standing against the wall. He comes up to me and says, "How comfortable do you feel?" And I said, "I'm very uncomfortable." He says, "Well, let's get out of here." And I said, "Okay, let's go." So we just walk out. You can watch it on the CCTV footage. We're just walking out. Nobody told us to leave. No police officers are yelling, "Get out of here." There's no tear gas, no nothing. We're just walk out. And that was it. After 11 minutes, they sentenced me to 3 years in prison. They sentenced Joseph Hackett to 3.5 years in prison. And we were accused of seditious conspiracy. And actually, we were found guilty of it. Now, you have to know that seditious conspiracy, in the rank of charges against the government, there's like treason, right, which is like death penalty, right? That's like the highest, worst. And then there's sedition, which is a close second. And so before we were going to trial, the prosecutors threatened us with life imprisonment. They were trying to get us to take a deal. They wanted us to turn on Trump. They wanted us to blame Trump. They wanted us to implicate Trump in an insurrection because they had to get Trump. They had to implicate Trump in an insurrection so that he could not run for president. So here they are. They're accusing us of sedition, threatening us with life imprisonment because they said sedition is tantamount to treason. So, but we would not give up. Those of us who went to trial would not give up. We would not give in. We would not betray Trump. We wouldn't betray the MAGA movement. We wouldn't betray each other. Now,
well, and here's the thing, David. I want to pause for just a second. It's you telling the truth, whether people want to believe that or not, because you're there firsthand experience. But now I want our audience to parallel that, the idea of get Trump, what they're trying to get you to do to get Trump. This is the same playbook, guys, that they had from 2016.
Right.
They've had it during 2016 when
Crossfire Hurricane.
They had it 2017. So I guess that's why your story is so it's so eye-opening to me now, because what do you sometimes have to do? You have to see a pattern of behavior from people or from groups of people or from a deep state. Now, when you shadow what you're telling us against that, it makes perfect sense. And not only that, guys, this video footage, I don't know why it all hasn't been released yet. We've been promised over and over again, but the footage is out there, unedited, raw, unclipped for you if you really want to know what's going on.
There is a movie. I just can't remember the movie.
Well, they promised it to Kevin McCarthy, like I can't remember how long ago, and that's been like forever. We just haven't gotten it. I want to, just because we're up against a hard stop, a lot of people, I think most people were pardoned from J6 from Trump. You had your sentence commuted. But the commuting of a sentence is not enough. What is the ask from you today, David? Because I want to make sure our viewers know that.
So the media has done a good job in obscuring the fact that not everyone was pardoned. Okay, so there's the pardon, which is like the complete forgiveness, and then there's the get out of jail card. which offers no forgiveness, right? But like us, we're glad to get out of prison, right? That's terrible.
Right.
But our sentences were only commuted. That just gets you out of jail. So it does not have our rights restored. Now, so what we need people to do. So we have a website, pardonthefore14.com, and we've got on that website you can order little postcards like this. It's free postcards, right? And it requests it gets sent to Trump. And it requests the pardon of the remaining 12 people. So 12 out of the 14 people still need a pardon, like myself, like Joseph Hackett and Kelly Meggs, and all these people that are pictured here. So, and then also you can, on pardonthefore14.com, you can electronically sign a letter like this that is individual. So there's two parallel campaigns. There's a postcard campaign for everybody, and then there's individual letter campaigns for us individually. So I would encourage you to go to pardonthefore14.com, follow those steps. It's very clear. And in like 2 clicks, once you get to pardonthefore14.com, it's like 2 clicks, and you can send a personalized letter to Trump requesting my pardon and the other 11 people. Now, you have to know that we towed the line. We were the faithful. We wouldn't give in, and we still need the pardon too. And there's a whole thing about why that happened, and I don't think we have time to get into that, but let's just say the deep state is very happy that we still have not been pardoned, because it furthers the narrative that hey, maybe these guys really did commit sedition, maybe these guys really were a part of an insurrection, so we need the pardon.
And now you have this black mark on your record, and it's difficult to either keep a job or travel and all these things.
Absolutely. So. And again, the reason your story is so pertinent to current
especially
events.
Now.
The FBI is currently raiding John Bolton's home.
Right.
Okay. We've seen everything that Tulsi Gabbard has come out right with. So guys, now look at January 6th against that lens, and the fact that the then head of X had forced to take down Trump's all of his information that he put out, saying,
and Facebook,
peacefully walk to the Capitol. They call it a fedsurrection for a reason. I know a lot of people hate using that word, but we've got to get that information out to people. We still don't know how many FBI agents or informants were in the audience, were in the crowd there. I said, Allie, I'm just going to tell you this. When Trump posted that on X, that this was going on way back on January 6th, and said, peacefully assemble, I put, and somebody sent me a snapshot, because of course they're quick to tie your hands and tell you posted this. I said, guys, I don't trust this. Something looks weird about this. How do you know people aren't going to show up, wrongdoers, bad actors, and try to be MAGA and America first? And
we've seen it before.
And then you look at Pelosi and her involvement, and them not calling in the National Guard. This is.
And Ed Martin is definitely on it. He has said on national news, when he's in these meetings, on news with especially Matt Gaetz, how they're going to continue to investigate J6 and what actually transpired that day. So thank you so much for coming on our show and telling us your story and giving us the information. Give us that website one more time where people can support the 12.
Pardonthefore14.com. Pardonthefore14.com. We'd love to we're going to keep an eye on what the new administration does to help the J6ers. We'll definitely have you back on again in the future. David, thank you so much for joining us on Open Mic.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's, I just, when we were talking about January 6th throughout, like 2021, 2022, you start to, people are rightfully asking questions. If you weren't there, or you haven't seen much other than what mainstream media has put out, you do have a lot of questions.
Right.
But when you parallel it to what's taking place today and what the exposure that's coming out,
with firsthand experience.
Yes. The deep state, those that are unelected bureaucrats that are working from the inside, working against Trump and the American people, they will stop at nothing. So what makes you think that they wouldn't stage something that was supposed to be a peaceful protest? Listen, you're allowed to protest the fact that, hold on to your seats, the 2020 election was not efficient. It was, you can call it stolen, you can call it rigged. It was an election. It was not an election. And that is going to be coming out, guys. That's not me, in my opinion.
Right.
That's a little bit of insight that I have that I can't tell you anything more about because it's going to be coming out. Sorry. But when you see that, what else are you supposed to do? They threw tea in Boston Harbor for much less than this.
Right. And then when you think about it, fast forward, when you think about what didn't work on January 6th, and fast forward to January 14th. July, was it July or June? June or July? July 14th, right?
July 14th.
when our president or presidential candidate was almost assassinated.
And what don't we, there's not been any committee on that.
I thought there was a committee.
Pierced his ear. And not like in a Claire's boutique.
Eli Crane and Corey Mills. What is going on with this?
Yes.
Please, some more information.
More information. Why do we know more about regular Americans that convened on the Capitol for a peaceful protest than we do about the person and the lead up to an attempted assassination of the now current president? I mean,
I think it might have been put under some disclosure with Anna Paulina Luna. She is now head of the disclosure department. So hopefully that starts to come out. I mean, I think I would rather hear more about that day than possible UAPs.
Yes, absolutely.
Although that is very intriguing and interesting.
And listen, we know grandmas that showed up to just pray on the steps of the Capitol during this that have had their lives nearly destroyed. We know people, a family that I think of off the top of my head that was in Washington, D.C. for a cheer competition.
Yeah.
And because they traveled to D.C. at that same time, they were being harassed by the former intelligence community. Guys, we can't let these people, and let's face it, even if you're somebody watching this right now and you think that what took place on January 6th was somehow completely wrong and you buy everything that the mainstream media has sold you hook, line, and sinker, do you think that the gulag treatment that these people got, listen, we're not calling for Hillary Clinton to be shackled in a basement somewhere.
No.
Give her.
Or to be put in solitary.
Absolutely. Give her time in a fair court. That's not what they gave our J6ers.
Nope.
They're you and I. They're plumbers, electricians, teachers, moms, dads, grandpas, grandmas. We've had people die as a result of this because they're patriots and they can't handle the idea that they were going to be charged with seditious conspiracy. Think about it. You go to the military, you fight for your country, you come back, and they're going to charge you with seditious conspiracy because you did the one thing you fought for overseas, and that's to be able to protest.
The process is the punishment.
The process is the punishment. So don't forget about our J6ers, guys. I don't care really what your feelings are about it. We don't treat people like that in the United States. We give them due process. And so I want to make sure that everybody in the Trump administration understands we're not forgetting about them either. We want to keep them front and center.
100%. So just a little bit of breaking news here. Trump says he's looking at doing something cosmetic to the Eisenhower Executive Office building on the White House campus, a massive building from the 1800s. And it's over 650,000 square feet. President Trump is a master restorer. I mean, he took Mar-a-Lago and restored it, and it is now an absolutely beautiful venue. People have their weddings there. We actually know people personally. Dan Ball has married there as well, and it's very beautiful. It's such a lovely place. There's so many people that
and Allie, he comes into
ballrooms and events and things.
He comes into a project and makes it on time and under budget.
Yes,
and I think part of I think Jerome Powell should have hired like Donald Trump, because then he wouldn't be in trouble for going over the budget. He's on time and under budget every time.
Yep.
Allie, I want to go to a quick commercial break because we do have our final segment coming up, including a really good Trump impersonation, not by Allie, even though she does it good, but by Sean Frage coming up in our next segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Love Sean.
Do you have enough food to feed your family for several months if the supply chain falls apart? If not, why not?
There is no guarantee that grocery stores or even local farmers will be operating in your area if circumstances change.
The problem is that most survival food sucks. That's why we get long-term storage food from Heaven's Harvest. Their food doesn't suck.
Heaven's Harvest uses all natural ingredients that they freeze dry to maximize taste, nutrition, and shelf life.
They source their foods locally, right here in the United States. They even offer heirloom seeds so you can grow your own food.
It's the kind of food that you and your family could enjoy every day. And the way things are going, that might just happen.
Visit patriot.tv/food. That's patriot.tv/food and use promo code PATRIOT at checkout.
Don't wait. Stock up on long-term storage food today before food prices start rising again.
Go ahead.
Now, before we continue with all this winning, I think we should celebrate with some Liberty cigars.
Let me light one. No, just kidding.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with a precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake, from the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history, and make sure you use promo code OpenMic for 10% off of your order, guys.
That's right.
Order a collection, send it to a friend, send it to a representative, send it to somebody you love and care about and cherish and is the tip of the spear in your circle of influence, or just really loves great cigars.
Maybe if you're having a Labor Day get together, you know, what better way than to have a box of Liberty cigars and just kind of, you know,
or if you're doing a ladies' night and you just want to, I don't know, just why not?
It's ladies' night.
Hey.
Okay. Anyway,
moving on.
So, guys, one of the things I want to, I know we just had that heartwarming story about David from January 6th, but I also want you to parallel that against this next story. So we were told that Trump did all these awful things. They tried to obviously lock him up. They tried to, you know, commit complete lawfare against him. This story came out, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. The civil fraud penalty that Trump was ordered to pay, it was almost like $500 million. It was an astronomical amount, has been thrown out. Take a quick look at this video.
Fox News Alert, a New York appeals court just this morning has thrown out President Donald Trump's massive civil fraud penalty. The decision from a 5-panel group in New York's appellate division changed the original decision that stood to cost Trump over $500 million. One appeals judge calling the lower court's penalty an excessive fine that violates the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution. You might remember that New York Attorney General Letitia James' office says despite this decision, they will not be dropping the case.
Because they doubled down on stupid. The court's decision, I'm just going to read this from the Post, confirms what we've known. Letitia James weaponized her office for political persecution, kind of like Nancy Pelosi did, I believe, on January 6th. $465 million penalty against a president wasn't justice. It was election interference, really, because they were trying to play with his ability to run in 2024.
And use the media to perpetuate that so that it swayed the public to not vote for President Trump. But MAGA stands 10 toes down for President Trump because he stands in the gap.
Absolutely. This ruling exposes the New York legal system as a playground for partisan hacks that targets opponents. We've seen this not just in New York, it's happened across the country. So we'll keep an eye on that for you.
Right. I'm just laughing because President Trump is speaking to the media right now. And he has on a hat that says Trump was right about everything as they're questioning him about the raid on John Bolton's residence. And he says that he doesn't know anything really about what happened. He just found out, like everybody else did, that there was a raid, and he is expected to be briefed on that later today. So
although he was right about everything.
Yeah, he was right about everything. And he also says, I'm not a fan of John Bolton. It's great.
You have a side job, Allie. I'm telling you, somebody pick her up on this. All right.
No,
she
I
needs
can't
her own
do it.
show.
Sean Parash, I can't meet him. He's better at it than I am. I just play around.
Let's talk about some wins on the MAHA front. Make America Healthy Again. Take a look at this post that Secretary Kennedy posted actually a few days ago. It's a screenshot from the American Academy of Pediatrics webpage. These are their donors, the American Academy of Pediatrics. Hey, they look familiar. Aren't these the same people that tried to poison us with that jab they called the antidote to COVID? Why is an organization, an NGO, the American Academy of Pediatrics, being funded by the same people that want to inject your children with poison? Maybe that's a conflict of interest.
Well, and it's not even that they want to inject your children. They are making it a mandate. And then they turn around and say that, oh, it's just a suggestion. But every single school in every single city in every single county demands that you follow the CDC requirements or CDC suggestions. But the moment a parent decides to say, you know what, let's take a break, let's not maybe do this many at this time, you get hounded and gaslit by your doctors. the same ones that are being paid for incentives by these same companies. There is a level of conflict of interest when you are being funded by the same groups of people that have exemptions of liability to push and force a product onto the American people without double-blind placebo testing, without proper or informed consent. That is a problem. It violates ethics and it needs to stop.
And because we're talking specifically about the American Academy of Pediatrics, who has the ultimate say in what your child learns, how your child learns, what your child believes, and how your child is treated medically?
I'll give you a hint. It is not the government.
It is not the government.
It is.
I
the
do not
parent.
consent to give the government any. You don't know my child better. You're not smarter than me somehow. You're not the expert. I'm the expert. I birthed it.
We do not co-parent with the government. Period. And full stop.
So you have the right. You should have the right. Whether it's you or you're advocating for your kids, please understand, whether you're a parent out there or a grandparent, aunt or uncle, you should be advocating for your child. And all stops. And I'm hoping that I love that Kennedy exposed this because once you know something, you can't unknow it. And we need to look at our healthcare really through that lens. Trump did, obviously, with having the National Guard in D.C. cleaning up. It got so clean that he came out and said, you know what? I think we're going to have our White House cook make burgers for everybody in the National Guard. So he came out to just kind of shake hands with some people. Take a listen.
And I think you brought some food for him, didn't you, President?
So we have great hamburgers cooked by the White House, and we have pizza that I said don't do it in the White House because we went to a place that makes the best pizza. So we'll concede, but we have a lot of it. So we're going to have some fun. We'll eat, and I'll eat with you, and we're going to have a little fun. We're going to celebrate, but then we're going to get back to work, and we're going to take care of these criminals. We're going to put them where they have to be. You're going to say, don't play around with us. Don't play around with us. So let's go have something to eat. You're going to like the hamburgers? Would you rather have hamburgers from the White House or pizzas from a good place, huh? I think you want, they want the hamburgers. Have a good time, everybody. Thank you very much.
He is literally setting the standard of what a president looks like. He is the president of the people, and that makes the elite establishment lose their ever-loving minds. Guys, he even went on patrol, that night, which was incredible. I haven't really seen much information on that yet. I'm sure it's coming out.
We get the call that he was going to do that. And we're like, no.
We're like, wait,
come on.
What is
don't
going
put him
on?
out there.
Can't do this. No, it's really cool, though. I think that is so interesting. I don't think there's ever going to be another president that is going to be like President Trump. He is a once-in-a-lifetime president, born for such a time as this, and we are just so excited to support him, to be here with him, to vote for him, and all of this. And these Cracker Barrel.
Hold on, Krista. Can we show some of these other Cracker Barrel logo memes?
I didn't even
These
send this
are
one to
freaking
her.
hilarious.
It is.
What is this one?
That's
Hunter Biden. Does he have a pipe in his mouth?
Yes, he has a pipe in his
sitting
mouth.
in the barrel.
That is hilarious. There's one of former President Joe Biden sitting on the barrel with his pants down. And there's one right now that I'm looking at that I did not have a chance to send to Krista, but it's a picture of former Vice President Kamala Harris looking like she's drunk, sitting in the barrel because she fell off the wagon in a barrel. So it just
oh my gosh, let's keep the laughter rolling.
So
listen, if you're going to be this stupid, Cracker Barrel, you deserve it. I love your hash brown casserole, but this is stupid. Sean Farage had a little something to say as the voice of President Trump. You're going to love this. And if you're on Spotify, you're not going to be able to tell this isn't Trump. Take a listen.
Well, it is my complete honor and privilege to make this endorsement. You know, I've got along very well with oxygen. I call it air. Some people call it O2. I call it oxygen, air. It's a beautiful thing, but I'm endorsing breathing. We love to breathe. It's a tremendous practice, in and out. I went to the doctor, and my doctor looked at me. He said, "Sir, you have the most beautiful lungs. They're so big. They're so beautiful. They inflate. They deflate. They're wonderful. In and out. Nobody's ever seen lungs like this before, sir." So I said, now's a beautiful day to endorse oxygen. We love breathing, right? And you have these stupid people on the left, very stupid, very sick. These are very sick people. You're not a sick person, but they're very sick people. And they're going to hear me endorse it, right? They're going to hear me say, oh, Donald Trump likes to breathe. You know who else breathed? Hitler. Hitler breathed. And they're going to hold their breath. And that's what we're hoping for. We're looking at it. So We are endorsing air. It's a tremendous thing. We want you to breathe as much of it as possible. Big, beautiful, clean air. And keep doing that. As long as you live, keep breathing that beautiful air. It's a tremendous thing to do. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. And I think it's funny because it's in hopes that because people hate President Trump.
So hold your breath.
Much,
Don't breathe the air.
He is endorsing breathing air.
Listen, and really, this is, I think this is also kind of a shot over the bow at your green energy practices that really have not been what they were supposed to be. There, it's a farce. It was a way to kind of funnel money, in my opinion. But they came out against CO2,
right?
Carbon,
yep,
dioxide.
Yep.
Like, what do we exhale? If you don't like carbon dioxide, how much longer are you going to put up with us? And that is, what was that story that Bill Gates told? He said, listen, we want to get rid of carbon dioxide. And what do you have to have, all of you mathematicians, what do you have to multiply a number by in order to get zero? Zero. Guess what the zero was? Zero humans in order to come to zero carbon. So it's a farce, and I love that only Sean Farage
can do it. Well, so one more breaking news thing, and then we'll go. It says Canada will be removing retaliatory tariffs on most U.S. products following pressure from President Trump, per Bloomberg. Trump wins again. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. Okay, you guys. We hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the wins of this administration because we know you are living it. It's been 8 months of tremendous winning. We can't get over the winning. It's great. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining Open Mic. We love you. We'll catch you bright and early on Monday.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
I'm going to vote for
Is legacy media really dead? I keep hearing reports that it's dead. We keep seeing numbers that seem to point to its demise. We, of course, know that legacy media has zero credibility left. But is it dead? And the answer to that is, unfortunately, no, it's not dead. And I don't think it's as weak as many of us want to believe. I know I wanted to believe that it's completely feckless, completely toothless, that it no longer has any pull, except it does. I mean, let's call it what it is. It really does. And we can see this throughout the last few months. I mean, if you were to go and ask your average normie leftist friend, if you have any, if you have any leftist friends, ask them what they think about any topic. We can even take some of the most obvious examples of past malfeasance from legacy media. For example, let's look at the Hunter Biden laptop. Do you know there's still millions of Americans who have either never heard of the Hunter Biden laptop or who still believe that it was some sort of Russian hoax, Russian misinformation play? Today, now, in 2025, there are still millions of, maybe tens of millions of Americans who think that. We saw during the riots, the LA riots that spread across the nation. We've seen a whole lot of people, and unfortunately a high number of people who still think that, to this day, they still think that the riots were organic, that these were just people that were rising up to speak out against the poor treatment of illegal aliens or whatever. And most importantly, based upon the narratives from legacy media, they believe that those riots weren't actually riots, that it was conservatives and conspiracy theorists who were saying they were riots, and that they were truly mostly peaceful protests where that was blown out of proportion by the dastardly Trump administration. Point being is that we cannot assume that legacy media is dead. We have to continue to fight it. It's one of the reasons that I am so very, very blessed and pleased to be part of Patriot TV. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us, of course, at patriot.tv itself, which is, I think, a tremendous site now with tons and tons and tons of content added daily. You can check us out on X. We have a 24-hour live feed at Truth Social. Patriot TV is where I'm going to be fighting the hardest to try to take down legacy media, because the truth is only going to be accepted once enough people realize that legacy media is lying and that independent media such as Patriot TV is not only the future, it really is today. We have to do everything in our power to make sure that that happens. So check it out. You can find us at patriot.tv is the easiest place.